We have a domino machine in the pantry. Gotta get your prepositions memorized, guys. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to memorize prepositions. It's just helpful, like when you're in school and you have to recall. But you're homeschooled. So, I don't know. If you want to learn your prepositions, go for it. Because you'll learn them if you use this book. I don't know why I have it in the pantry. Hi, my name is Leilani, and in this video I'm going to share with you the curriculum that worked for us and the curriculum that didn't work for us. And I'm going to be honest today. I'm going to be honest today because I just feel like I'm in that kind of mood. So when I say grab your cup of coffee so you can enjoy this, I'm going to try to make it fun as we go through this, but informative. I'm going to be like the Elon Musk of homeschooling, honest. Except I don't make that much money. Let's talk about homeschool curriculum. So I have a preschooler, I have a second grader, I have a fourth grader, sixth grade, all of them moving up to the next grade level, and we're gonna talk about all the things with them. I'm gonna link my old videos from the beginning of this year talking about the curriculum that we were using down in the description box below. And if you like this video so far, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We have fun. It's our homeschool journey, and I share all the general things with homeschooling. I am a former public private school teacher, and I also do evaluations, homeschool evaluations in the state of Florida. I'm actually gonna be opening up some other big surprises, and you'll find out later if you subscribe. So let me start with preschool. My youngest daughter is in preschool going into kindergarten. She does have Down syndrome, and we really kind of just laid back, took it easy. We did a lot of Usborne books, and if that is a curriculum, I'm gonna say Usborne worked for us. Now, we did dedicate an entire year to doing Learning Without Tears, handwriting without tears, and I was very persistent with it. So this is the book that I used along with a lot of other manipulatives. I'm gonna go ahead and stick that video that I made about handwriting without tears, learning without tears in the description box below, probably in the iCards right now as well. But here is the truth of the matter. In the beginning, it worked great. We were working through the things, I was pushing her through it, but then there was a certain point that she just was done. She was done with it, she wasn't progressing, she hated it, things were thrown across the floor, things were thrown at me, it was just a giant mess. And after speaking with our OT, I just decided we needed to take a step back. I needed to pray a lot about what I was gonna do curriculum-wise, because one of my heart's desires is I want to see her read. I want to see her write. I want her to really just develop that independence in those areas. And I don't want to push her too hard in that area. Just being frank with you guys, children with Down syndrome are very strong-willed, huge, amazing quality, but very difficult for a parent in so many ways. You guys don't even know. Well, you probably do. You probably do. A lot of you probably do. But it's not easy. And when a child does not want to do something, they're done with it. They're not going to learn from that experience. So I just have to move on. And that's what I've had to do with handwriting Learning Without Tears, which is a fabulous program. Don't get me wrong, it's very simple. And it might be a little bit too simple for some kids, but sometimes with the simplicity, it keeps the distractions away. So a lot of kids, like for example, with ADHD that get distracted easily, when you're looking at something with just letters on it, it can keep them focused on just that thing. Learning Without Tears is great. It just towards the end was not working for Naomi, and so we have to take that one and put it aside for now. Other than that, with Naomi, the Usborne books and the Learning Without Tears, we tried some apps here and there. For example, we did Time for Learning, which I felt like was a little bit too advanced for her, but I think later on down the line it will be good for her. Worked with her talker, worked with her therapist, pulled out coloring books, sticker books, lots of sticker books. We worked a lot on that. Oh, I almost forgot. We did do some subscription boxes for her this year. We did Hola Amigo, we did Kiwi Crates, and we did Passports. Out of all those three, my favorite by far is Kiwi Crates. We found that if we went to her actual level, she did better because she wants to go to that level. She's pushing herself. And once we went to that level, it was fabulous. I mean, Tinkercrates worked perfect for her. She's 5 years old. Let me just show you her favorite one. So it's a farmer's market, and we've got like stuffed tomatoes and and peas, and we take these things out randomly and string them and unstring them. But then you can actually play farmer's market with it, with money, like coins and little signs that you can put up. We also have, you can see a human body back here. I don't think she understands. Well, she might. She surprises me all the time. And she has been making these little, you know, stuffed organs, so to speak. Here, this is, she did that. He's cute, right? A little heart, it's got googly eyes. He's fun. But this thing is great. I mean, it's building fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination, plus the vertical right here, having to stick it on the Velcro, seeing the full body, which actually is life-size for her. This has been great. We also have one that like is a physics, chemistry type thing that does like blending colors and painting, and it's so cool. She loves it. It fits perfectly. This is our science. Well, this is our STEM. It's her STEM. It's her STEM box. So passports, it was like a hit or miss. Sometimes they would come in with like great activities for them to do. Other times there was one box that came in the mail and there were some things in it that I didn't agree with. There were things in there I didn't want to talk about with her yet at this young age. So it ended up, you know, I gave it to my other kids to just color and do it out with it. It ended up in the trash, and that's that. Hola amigo. I have this thing where I want my kids to learn Spanish, you know, Puerto Rican family thing, you know, we got going in our household, and none of us speak Spanish. It's awful. So we're trying to learn Spanish, and she gotta learn English first. I don't know, sometimes I'm like, what was I thinking? But Hola Amigo is great. It is a great curriculum. It is a great subscription box. It actually definitely money's worth there. And lots of fun games. I have a box back there. I'm keeping the fun games for future stuff. I don't know. I'm just keeping it. I picked out my favorite and I kept it. So now to my second, fourth, fifth grader. Now I did talk a little bit about in a recent video about poetry unit study that I was doing with them from Usborne Books. And we're already more than halfway through with it, so I thought I'd share with you that it is working with a lot of patience, understanding, support, knowing that they're not gonna get it perfect and that you're gonna have to help them with the rhyming and not getting frustrated when they can't rhyme, you know, all that kind of stuff. It has been amazing. Also allowing them to just be creative with it and think outside the box, and, you know, if they wanna write a poem about Minecraft, let them write a poem about Minecraft. You know, that kind of stuff. But not every poem. And not every poem is about Minecraft. Just one. So we're good. But first of all, just check out these pictures. These are some of the fun words, rhyming words that she had to think of. But then she had to make a limerick. There once was a frog from a pond, which liked to sing many songs, and sat on a log and saw a dog which was 100 feet long. It's like awesome. Like, how fun is that? My son, even there was a part where it defined poetry. He said, poetry can be silly and fun, but meaningful. Like, that was his definition of poetry. And there's fun things in here like writing haikus. I mean, you can't have a poetry book without haikus, and shape poems. I mean, she did ice cream. Okay, ice cream cone, shape poems, poems about me, something, an ode to something great or small, animal, vegetable, or mineral. You decide which one you want to be. There was one where she had to write a poem about being an elderly cat burglar. I mean, just fun stuff like that, and it just really gets them thinking outside the box. Now, I will admit, not all my kids liked it, but I didn't really care. Didn't care. It wasn't a push through. It was a, oh, I'm sorry you don't like that. But you know what you could do? Getting creative, you know, with some of my wording, make sure I'm having fun, and it was fun. I mean, if you don't like poetry, it might be a little bit hard, because this is something you do together as a family, as a group, or a kid does it on their own because they like poetry, but we are doing it together as a group, and we're making it fun. And even the one kid that doesn't like it too much, he's having fun with it. He's actually writing some really good stuff. So this is a win-win. So now I'm gonna tackle math. For my two older boys, we used teaching textbooks as their main curriculum, and to be honest, it's working really, really well for my 6th grader going into 7th grade. He is doing the 7th grade level, and so it's worked really well with him, and we're gonna continue using it for pre-algebra next year. For my 4th grader, he just breezed right through that thing and he was done. It worked for him, it taught him the basics, but now I'm having to, I pulled out Horizon and we're working through Horizon now because I didn't want to have like a 6-month gap in between the two and I wasn't ready to start the next unit of teaching textbooks. I decided to go with Horizon. Working through teaching textbooks, it worked for him. It taught him some really good foundations that I honestly do not have time to teach him. And then doing Horizon has actually really worked well for him. I do think next year, the more I think on it as we go through Horizons, I think that we may push teaching textbooks to the side and just do Horizons with him through the year. It's more work on me. More work on me that I don't always want to do, like grading and doing math problems myself. Now for my youngest daughter, who is 2nd grade, we went through Right Start Math, and I do not have the curriculum to show you right now because I think I might have burned it. I didn't burn it. And it's not a bad curriculum. In fact, it did its job. It did what it needed to do. The only thing with it was so teacher intensive. Every single day I had to sit down with her for a good hour to work through math and just so much. But it got that foundation laid and I was able to bring her into Horizons, which we're now using with her, and she's doing great. Like, she's picking up pretty quickly. Developmentally, I think she's adjusting to the curriculum. She is a little bit behind, but like I said, Right Start Math really laid down a good, strong foundation for her. So probably through the summer, we're gonna go ahead and finish out the year, and then she'll be right back on track for 3rd grade, which I do think we are gonna do teaching textbooks with her. But Right Start Math, did it work? Yeah. Was it torture? Mm-hmm. Would I recommend it if your child is really struggling and they like hands-on stuff and you know that's gonna work for them? Yeah. Yeah. Would I recommend it just in general if your child's good at math? Probably not. All right, let's work through some language arts. So there was a vocabulary thing I mentioned in the previous book that I was using with my kids, and this is kind of what it looks like. We're still working through it with my oldest. I decided not to do it anymore with my 2nd grader and with my 4th grader. My 4th grader started doing IEW. There was vocabulary in it already, and so I just kind of said, okay, he doesn't need to do the workbook of vocab. Even though my 6th grader is doing IEW and there is vocabulary in it, I still wanted to supplement with a little bit extra. So we're strictly doing the vocab worksheets. We are not doing the cutout journaling hands-on stuff. It does a lot of Latin roots, Greek roots, prefixes, suffixes. That's the whole purpose behind it. And it's a good, here you go, do your vocabulary. When you're done, I'll check it. And then, I mean, that's that. It's a good one. It's inexpensive. I'll leave a link down below if you're interested in checking it out. Now, IEW. I use IEW structure and style with my oldest son, and I used it with my 4th grader. My 4th grader actually took a class at the co-op. He did really well in the class. It was nice because I didn't have to grade papers. However, I did need to be a little bit more on top of him than I was with my 6th grader because he just doesn't like writing too much, so he would try to cut corners and get away with stuff. You know, that's pretty typical. Pretty typical if you're not on top of them. But in the end, it did kind of pan out for him, and we're gonna be doing structure and style with him in the upcoming year. Did IEW work for my 4th grader? I would say I believe so. I really do. And we're gonna do it again. And he's actually looking forward to it because he likes watching the videos with my older son with structure and style, Andrew Boudoir, because when you do structure and style, you have the streaming forever that you purchase. The one that he was using was the theme, the fables, and he didn't have streaming videos. He had a teacher teaching him in a classroom. Structure and style for my 6th grader was awesome. I have lots of IEW videos, and I'll stick all of those in the links and descriptions and all that fun stuff. Pretty straightforward. Those videos can tell you how it worked. But we've had some stories where we just sat down and we had fun looking for adjectives and adverbs and dress-ups and all the things. It was great. Honestly, structure and style for me this year was fun, grading it with him because he likes writing and it works well. He also learned some pretty cool facts. I mean, there's a whole thing in there about the turtles, problems with plastic, like there's a turtle. That's so sad, so sad. He got very aware of it and he started making it a point to recycle and throw things away and, you know, noticing a cross our house, we have a amazing, it's a swamp. We live in Florida, it's a swamp. I'll just be honest, it's a swamp. Well, he started caring about what was in the swamp, you know, like trash, and making sure he was out there. If he saw something, he picked it up. And it was good, it inspired him. So it wasn't just writing, it was also learning about taking care of your environment. Now, my youngest daughter took a class at the co-op with her language arts. It was kind of like an extra curricular type of thing, and it wasn't anything too structured. It was more just for fun. And we also did Well Trained Mind with her. We also did Cottage Press with her at the beginning of the year. Cottage Press is very Charlotte Mason, and as much as I love the Charlotte Mason style, and I really do, reading books, getting into nature, journaling, I do love that kind of stuff. I just don't like certain elements of Charlotte Mason, such as, you know, maybe some of the older literature that is being taught. I do like to delve in some of the modern literature. I enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of Aesop's fables. I'll just be honest. I like to read the Bible instead. I don't know. Those aren't really comparable. I mean, they're cute and all, but I'm not a fan of Aesop's fables, even though IEW does use a lot of Aesop's fables. It's a little bit different. It was a little bit different. This book really relied heavily, in the Cottage Press, really relied heavily on Aesop's fables. And it was a very gentle approach, but I don't feel like she was learning anything, to be honest. I feel like it was just, I don't know, it was fluffy. It was fluffy for her. I just wanted to get to the meat for her, and we switched over to Well Trained Mind. And I'll be honest, she actually really likes this book. So it's first language lessons for Well Trained Mind. We're gonna keep going and do the second one next year with IEW. We're gonna do Bible Heroes and the Well Trained Mind. She likes it. And I don't know if it's because she gets to sit with mom on the couch and we read through it together, daughter and mom, and it's not math. Kudos, we like it. This works for her. I will say we use the same program for all of my kids, okay? The second, the one that's in fourth grade, or now the boy that is more of a math person, he memorized a lot of the stuff from this curriculum. My oldest son, we also used this curriculum. It didn't really work well with him. Cottage Press, I'm gonna say didn't work for us. A lot of Aesop's fables. And I don't like Aesop's fables, so there's that. Spelling. Spelling does not have a front page anymore. It's called Soaring with Spelling, and I use that for all three of my kids. It just gets the job done. My youngest daughter is working through Soaring with Spelling, and recently I've really noticed that she does have some simple struggles. We did use All About Spelling before, and I think honestly for her, this is not necessarily working as well as I would like it to, so I'm gonna switch back to All About Spelling. With Copywork this year, we continued with Cursive. They wrote out the entire Constitution in Cursive, the boys did. My daughter, we did have the Good and the Beautiful Cursive. Honestly, okay, I'm just gonna be honest. It didn't get the job done with her. And I don't know if it's because I didn't push it as much as I should have with Cursive, because I think Cursive, if you're gonna learn Cursive, you need to sit down and learn it over a short period of time instead of trying to spread it out, because then you don't retain all the information. And then once you learn it, you just have to keep using it. It's kind of learning a language, to be honest. So it didn't necessarily work for her, and she's still not able to freely write in cursive when my boys at this age were. So I'm gonna go back. We actually used handwriting without tears for my boys. So I think with her, we are gonna go back and use handwriting without tears just to kind of solidify that cursive handwriting, and then she's gonna be using cursive on a regular basis like my boys do now. All right, moving on to the fun sciences and the histories and the fun stuff. So there was a lot of co-op classes that were happening for my kids this year, and I will admit, I did teach some of them. We did an inventions class, was inspired by the Gather Round curriculum, the Inventors curriculum, and it worked really well. It was just fun. It was light. They didn't have much homework, and it was just one of those fun experiences. It was more like social science time, so to speak. It wasn't anything too deep, but they learned a lot. They did. On top of that, my oldest son was in my astronomy class, which I taught. Here's the book I used, Stargazer's Guide to the Night Sky. So this book is awesome. But you have to keep in mind that when you're reading through this book, it is going to be for the middle school age. It is not something you want to do with the elementary. You want to do it with the middle school age. There's a lot of vocabulary and there's a lot of new words. And it is the beginning at least, is very heavy focused on stargazing. You might want to pick up a telescope from Amazon.com, and you will have to have patience to set it up and stare at the stars. But if you can find a local museum that has telescopes and stargazing nights, then that's where you want to go, because there's only so many times that you can enjoy seeing the stars unless you're really into it. And we had some moments like that this year. There was a blood moon, and then there was the camping trip. It was fun. They had a whole section in here on the planets that lasted a long time, and my son really picked up the stuff easily. I love it too because it's from a Christian perspective, and Dr. Jason Lisle really paints a beautiful picture when it comes to understanding God's handiwork, his majesty, his greatness, and he has a way of just defending the Christian faith through astrophysics. If you get really into that kind of stuff, he's got some amazing books out there. He's got a YouTube channel. You can really delve deep into it. And a lot of those questions when it comes to astronomy that a lot of people have, because we've been taught a certain way, we've been taught that certain theories are actually facts, he disputes them in a perfect way that makes you go, oh, well, why didn't they teach that to me in school? Huh. I've done that a lot, by the way. I'm really good at making that statement. And I'm excited because he's going to be at the conference. I might fangirl a little bit. I'll try not to be obvious. My husband has already fanboyed a little bit around him. He's pretty cool. He's a cool guy. His stuff is pretty cool. He also has another book. Oh, I need to get it. It's actually upstairs with my son in his bedroom, so I'm just gonna leave it there right now because he has it open to a specific page, and I know I'm gonna mess that up. But it's called Taking Back Astronomy, and it is great. It's a great read. It's a great read for middle school, for high school, for adults. I also had the class keep little journals, little stargazing journals, which I really have been trying to encourage them to use throughout the year. And so here's just like an example of some of the stuff that he did. This is, yes, an Usborne book, beautifully put together. And they have like little quotes and stuff on them. Just some inspirational thoughts. You know, he says he's going to continue journaling in it. And I do have journals actually for all my kids, but this worked. The astronomy book worked. So, you know, there's that. As a little extra perk, because I was a teacher, I went ahead and got this little bad boy right here. This is Apologia. This is the high school astronomy book. And I don't know why I bought it for middle schoolers, because it is definitely a high school book, and it is a great companion with physics. It's a great companion with physics. I'll be honest, it doesn't have many science experiments. Actually, it doesn't really have any science experiments in there. But we did use some of the pages for this. I did get a chance. For me personally, I have skimmed through the entire book. And I do want to do like a little video review on it, because it is fairly new and not many people know what they're getting into. So if that's something that sounds interesting, go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section down below. But did this work for the class? No, because it was too hard for middle school, but it's really good curriculum. Now let's talk history. I also taught a Constitution class at the co-op, and it was a lot of me pulling and putting things together. So there is really no curriculum tied to it. I did use this. This is an Understanding U.S. Constitution. It's worksheets and reading, and it's very thorough and very in-depth. I've also done Gather Around U.S. Constitution mini unit study. I'm going to say that is a kickoff to understanding U.S. government stuff. It is not a full, I would not count that as a full year, but this is very, very worksheety. It's a great discussion. I would not just do this for Constitution. I would make sure you're talking about stuff as well. I mean, the Constitution itself is the foundation for a Constitution class, and it wasn't American government, it was a Constitution class. So did this work for us? I mean, it did, but we had to add a lot to it to make it fun. Truth Quest. I love Truth Quest, okay? So And I've loved it for years. We've used pretty much all of their curriculum since American History 1, 2, and 3, and then Egypt and Greece. And I love it because it allows me to be flexible as a parent and actually be able to use outside resources to bring in to just make it more vibrant. They're gonna give you an outline of what you're going to be doing. If you look in the table of contents, you kind of see there's a nice little outline of what you're going to be talking about. They do have a binder that you can put together. They have a timeline, they have flashcards, and in this book they also have like a little paragraph or two, sometimes a page, you know, introduction to it. And then they have a list of books that you can do. My daughter got into it too, the second grader got into it too, but we didn't give her as much work as we did with the sixth grader and with the fourth grader. The sixth grader actually had him doing some of the essay writing. There's about, I think, 9 essays that came with it. And I didn't really push that too much with my fourth grader. Him, I just focused on maybe writing a sentence or two about the topic, or just even having a discussion about the topic, not necessarily writing about the topic. So it's flexible. That's what I like about it. It's flexible. You kind of adjust it to what you need for your child. And because I'm able to do that with TruthQuest, it definitely worked for our family. We also did Tinkercrates for the oldest, which of course Tinkercrates is great if you can afford it. I mean, there's nothing, I have to say, wrong about it. I mean, he made a pencil sharpener. He made, I mean, the only downside of Tinkercrates, honestly, is now I have all this like wooden stuff, like random wooden pieces sometimes, because you know, you have them so long, they don't last forever. But we have a domino machine in the pantry. Yeah. And we have dominoes that sometimes like slip through the pantry like slits and crash on the floor, and I don't know why I have it in the pantry. Another subscription box that we absolutely love is called Kids Art Box. Now, not only is their stuff amazing, each box is amazing, but their customer service is like incredible. I'm in a really happy place with them right now, I'll just be honest, because our mailman, legit, not even joking, he was on vacation and we were on vacation at the same time, but they legit lost our box. I don't know where it is. I don't know if they sent it back to the company. It was a lost cause. I was like, it's not their fault. They don't need to do anything, but they did. I told them, I said, if the box ends up back to you guys, do you mind sending it back to us? And the guy's like, what happened? And I told him the whole story, and he's like, don't worry, I'll stick it in the mail today. A new box. They're sending me a box. Customer service really makes it and breaks it for a lot of things. However, they have an amazing box even before the customer service. So we get this binder that we got at the beginning of our subscription. I think it was like a special deal. So each month we get a different artist that they're gonna get to study. Beatrix Potter was one of them, Jacob Lawrence. And in the box, first of all, they come with 4 different projects. Four different projects, and some of them you can do twice because they'll send you like 2 pieces of paper instead of 1. I mean, let me just show you what comes in like almost every box. This is nice. Every box, if you do any watercolors, they give you a whole new watercolor set. I mean, if you have an artist in your house that likes to paint with watercolors and you're always buying watercolor sets, first of all, these are really nice watercolor sets. And second of all, you will have plenty for them to start watercolor painting on their own outside of the box. There's also oil pastels. We have a couple of these. Like this is, I haven't even opened this one. Some of the art projects. I gotta show you. Hold on. This was Japan. Here's another fun one. This is Beatrix Potter. But you can see like there's soil in there and then the little like shrinky dinks. We like traced out shrinky dinks and colored them and shrunk them. And we took molding clay and made like little lettuce heads and carrots and such. Oh, this was fun too. So we got this one. So what's nice is you have an artist a month and you don't feel that pressure to, you know, like shove it in, or you don't get that overwhelmed feeling of, oh, I'm forgetting art. Oh my gosh. No, It was like, it's right there in a box. Everything's there. You don't have to run out and get supplies. And it worked for us. So that's about it for our review. I know it's a pretty long video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to our channel. And like I said, I got some fun prizes coming up in the future. So make sure that you click on the bell notification so when that comes up, I can inform you of like some of my new announcements coming up and what I'm doing just in general to expand the information that I'm providing for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the channel, and I really hope to see you guys around. Don't forget to leave me comments. I definitely check back, engage with you guys, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.